So when you have to solve these by Kramer's rule, my advice is get the three matrices down first. And be very careful with signs. Signs are going to be huge here. Negative 9, 13, 5, negative 3. And then 3, 2, negative 9, 13. Okay, that's what my three matrices should look like. Okay. My advice so you don't lose signs is this. Whenever you find the determinant of a matrix, you're subtracting between the cross multiplication. So it's going to be 3 times negative 3, 2 times 5. Negative 9 times negative 3, 13 times 5. 13 times, or put it in the same order each time. Stay consistent. 3 times 13, and we're going to go 2 times negative 9. So each time we're just multiplying diagonally. It's imperative top left times bottom right is in front of the subtraction sign. Bottom left, top right is to the right of the subtraction sign. That order matters. Negative 9 minus 10 is a negative 19. That's going to be my denominator throughout. Negative 9 times negative 3 is 27. 27 minus 65 is going to be a negative 38. And then finally, 3 times 13 is 39, minus a negative 18 is going to be a 57. Those are the three numbers I am working with. Okay? Now, those are not the answers. You have to finish the problem. Where I replace the x coefficients, that's the numerator. The matrix determinant is the denominator throughout. 57 over a negative 19 for the y. The y is replaced by the negative 9, 13, or the y coefficients, replaced by negative 9, 13, and we get a determinant of 57. So negative 38 over negative 19, that's 2, and that's negative 3. So 2, negative 3 is my point. The second one, or actually before I get to the second one, other piece of advice I would give you. Point 2, negative 3 is my answer. Plug it right here. 3 times 2 is 6. 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. 6 and negative 15 is negative 9. 2 times 2 is 4. Negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. 4 and 9 is 13. Plug it back in. Make sure it's correct. The second one. We have 3, 2, 4, negative 3 is my rows. I'm going to replace the 3, 4 with 12, negative 1. Then I need to replace the column 2, negative 3 with 12, negative 1. I'm a fan of putting that minus sign down first. And then we're going through our same order. 3 times negative 3, 4 times 2. 12 times negative 3, negative 1 times 2. 3 times negative 1, and it's so important we don't lose a sign. 4 times 12. Negative 9 minus 8 is a negative 17. That will be my denominator throughout. Negative 36 minus a negative 2 is negative 34. Negative 3 minus 48 is negative 51. X is negative 34 over negative 17. Y is negative 51 over negative 17. X equals 2, Y equals 3. And I can write that answer as a point 2, 3. Once again, bring it to the top. 3 times 2, 2 times 3, 6 and 6 is 12. 4 times 2 minus 3 times 3, 8 minus 9 is negative 1. When you finish the problem and you check your work, you should know whether you're right or you're wrong. Once again, my advice, take the coefficients, write your matrices. 22, 14, negative 2, 1. And then we have 4, 3, 22, 14. Write the matrices first. Okay? So you don't lose a subtraction sign. I would write the subtraction sign each time. 4 times 1. 3 times negative 2. That's 4 minus a negative 6. We're going to get 10 as our denominator. 22 times 1. 14 times a negative 2. 22 minus a negative 28, we're going to get 50. 14 times 4. 22 times 3. You're going to get 56 minus 66, and that's going to give you a negative 10. So my x is 50 over 10. My x is 5. My y is negative 10 over 10. My y is negative 1. And I'm going to write that answer as a point. 5, negative 1. No fractions here. And you can check your work. 4 times 5 is 20. Negative 2 times negative 1 is 2. 20 and 2 is 22. 3 times 5 is 15, plus a negative 1 is 14. And there's my answer. Now, the next one is when fractions start coming into play a little bit. Now, when I give you fractions on the test, you're not going to get fractions that are ridiculously hard to work with. Okay? Could you? Yes, that's not what I'm going to give on the test, though. So negative 1, 7 replaces 4, 12. Negative 5, 10. 4, 12, and the negative 1, 7 replaces the negative 5, 10. I'm going to put my subtraction signs in. 4 times 10, 12 times negative 5. Now that's 40 minus a negative 60. So from a denominator standpoint, I'm going to get 100. Then we have negative 1 times 10. 7 times a negative 5. We're going to get negative 10 minus a negative 35. And that's a 25. 4 times 7. 12 times a negative 1. 28 minus a negative 12. And we get 40. Now when I put those in, x is 25 over 100. Reduce the fractions. X is 1/4. Y equals 40 over 100. My y is 2/5. So my point, 1/4, 2/5. And that's going to be my answer. Now once again, check your work. These are not hard to check. 1/4 times 4 is 1. 5 times 2/5 is 2. 1 minus 2 is a negative 1. 1/4 of 12 is 3. 2/5 of 10 is 4. 3 and 4 is 7. You can plug them in. Your numbers should work out. It's the same process each time. 9, negative 4, 12, and 2. Replace the 9 and 12 with 4 and 9, negative 4 and 2. And then we have 9, 12, and we replace that negative 4 and 2 with 4 and 9. So now I put my negative signs in. 9 times 2, 12 times the negative 4. 4 times 2, 9 times the negative 4. 9 times 9, 12 times 4. So 18 minus a negative 48 is 66. 8 minus a negative 36 equals a positive 44. 81 minus a 48 is a 33. So my x is 44 over 66. X is 2/3. My y is a 33 over 66. My y equals 1/2. So my point 2/3 and 1/2. 2/3, 1/2. 2/3 of 9 is 6. Half of 4 is 2. 6 minus 2 is 4. 2/3 of 12 is 8. Half of 2 is 1. 8 and 1 is 9. Every one of these you can plug back in and check your work.